I guess I'll start. I feel like the question that I keep reading everywhere is, how do you define the season? And I know you guys have asked our players, Rossi, Tom, is this a success or not? And I guess I'll start by saying no. When I think about our season, I'm really impressed that our guys set goals as high as they did. Sort of externally, we were not expected to be a playoff team, but the internal expectations were that we're going to make the playoffs. And going back to spring training, that was the clear goal. When we were 10 games under in the middle of June, these guys still believed, and it was a pretty amazing thing from my seat to listen to them talk about how good they thought the team was when we were 10 games under. In the middle of July, when we were after the All-Star break, we were 7 games under, and these guys are begging me not to break the team up and begging me not to make trades, which is really impressive. These guys believed through all that, and they went on a heck of a run. I think we went from 10 under to 12 over a 3-month period, and it was fun to watch. We just didn't finish the race. Painfully, we did not finish the race, and certainly there's positives to take from the season, both organizationally and certainly positives to take from as a major league team. But right now we're sort of stuck thinking about what could have been and thinking about the painful last 2.5-3 weeks. And you can't call something that falls short of your goal as a success. So ultimately we have to live with that. I know it'll motivate me all winter, and I know talking to our players and coaches and front office, I know it's going to motivate them. But you can't define something as a success when you fall short. And I think, as Tom said, those things are consolation prizes, and that's not why we're here. So with that, I'll open it up to questions and fire away. I think it's a kind of long philosophical conversation. When you have, I don't even know how many people are in a clubhouse on a given day. Let's call it 50 to 60 people are down here every single day. All those people at some point in that day want or need his time, his mood, his direction, everything about the manager. It just defines what happens in the clubhouse. And this game is so up and down all the time. Like to be able to bring a positive energy, a productive energy every single day, to kind of stay on message all the time, to be encouraging to the players, and to keep their respect all the time. There's not a lot of groups of humans, I think, more cynical than like a group of major league players, and if they sense any weakness, if they sense any part of you is not genuine at all, you can lose that group of players really quickly. And so, watching him the last 2 years, we sold at the deadline last year. We sold the entire bullpen, and I think we were 9 games over 500, after that. This year, to be where we were, as we've discussed a couple times, and be able to come back, these guys play really hard for him. They want to play for him, and I think that comes from sort of who he is as a person and what he embodies, which is just like being a great teammate and coming in every day to win a game, and then win or lose, he's going to be the same person the next day. And I know you guys are all around this every day. Like, it's so hard to do that in this sport when success and failure are often like so close, and games can you're going to have losing streaks, you're going to have bad stretches, and he also treats every player with an unbelievable amount of respect. I think they really appreciate that as well. No one's more self-deprecating about their own career than Rossi. A guy got carried off the field after his last game, and somehow he's like incredibly self-deprecating and talks about knowing how hard the game is. And I think that's something that's really resonates with the players. That they know he's been in that. They know he's been in that position. They know he's failed. He's with them in that fight. So. Kind of long and rambling answer to your question, but I just think it's the kind of thing that you're here. These guys are here from noon until a game at 7. There's so many hours of the day that are spent in preparation for the game. So many hours after the game are spent, getting ready for the next day, or picking up the pieces, or deconstructing what just happened in that game. And that's the part that people just don't see on a day-to-day basis. They see what happened, the 6 decisions he might make in a given game, but they don't see all the rest of the things that go into leading a successful team. Yeah, I mean, probably we've spent a lot of time talking about the position players, but of all the, really pleasant surprises, I think, him sort of going from a really good pitcher to stepping up and pitching like an ace all year was probably the biggest. I give him so much credit. I think so much of what we see in season is born of what people do in the off season, and we challenged him at the end of last year. Like, there's a lot more in the tank for you. Like, you need to, live in Arizona, work out like crazy, come to spring training in great shape. And he did all those things, and he showed up in spring training in great shape. And I felt like his stamina in game was noticeably different. I thought in a lot of games he was getting stronger as the game went on. And, I thought there's not much more you can say about his season. Obviously he faltered a little bit at the end, whether that was fatigue from being sort of past where he is traditionally in innings, or whether that was just, what happened and it wasn't based on fatigue. We'll never know that, but what an exceptional season. And every time he took the mound, I thought we were going to win. And that's like, that's the best thing you can probably say about a starting pitcher. And I know he, felt great, felt strong at the end of the year. And I think that he'll keep working out like that in the offseason. I think he's a great example for all our young players that you can take yourself from really good to great, through hard work. We sat down with him on Sunday, had a long conversation. We've had really good dialogue throughout the whole year. And he loves Wrigley Field, and he loves the fans, and I think his experience was fantastic. And obviously our experience with him was fantastic. And, we'd love to bring him back. We'll have a lot of conversations with him. Obviously it's a process, and that process does not start now. It's going to play out for a while, but I told him this, it's rare to have a guy come in on a 1-year deal and have that kind of connection with the fans by the middle of the season. It was really special, and he deserves a lot of credit for how hard he plays and the way he played. I think that's what created that. Yes, I do think that, the contributions he made will have to be replaced. I think that's like, obviously, like I said, we'd love to bring him back, but in a world where that's somewhat uncertain, we do have to figure out a way to replace that offensively. It's so fun to watch him every day, and I think if you watch him every day like you guys do, you just appreciate just the incredible steadiness. He's such a good defender. It's sort of insulting to say he's a steady defensively because he made so many spectacular plays, but just knowing that, and the ball hit the shortstop is an out, always. I think what Rossi call it, play number 1, like hit the ball at Dansby, it's an out. And I think that gives so many players on the team such confidence. It's also like talking to our coaches on a day in, day out basis about him. They just can't say enough amazing things about how he's just always focused on the right things. Like a game can be a blowout one way or another, and he's focused on, the positioning our players the right way. He never stops thinking about winning, I guess is the best way to say it. I truly believe that he's a player who does not care about anything other than winning. And, that's a rare thing. Whereas I think that's what he's focused on waking up, and that's what he's focused on going to bed at night. And he told us that when we were recruiting him, and he certainly played out. So it really fun to watch. It was, he had a great season. I know he regrets some big clutch at bats at the end of the year. I think he probably feels like he wore down a little bit physically, and that's something we'll work on. But as a free agent signing, to come in here and be even better than advertised is a hard thing to do. He's been one of my favorite Cubs players to be around since we got here. Hard to imagine a better teammate, someone he like redefines low maintenance. He's just does whatever the team needs, and I just joy to have him around. So obviously I'm not going to negotiate anything with you guys right now, but certainly we want to keep him in as a Cub for next year and beyond.